Hey guys, this is Aditya Rajaraman, and you're watching the review of AirPods Pro. I know this is going to be there's going to be a lot of improvisation in this because I swear I don't have a script. But in the last 2-3 days, I have had a lot of positive things and a lot of negative things to share about the AirPods Pro because I've been using this for close to a year now. Probably not a year, but like 7-8 months now, and I just had a lot of things to say. So consider this like a long-term review while I talk about my experience in a very candid manner. Let's probably delve around the build quality, the design, the battery life, the sound quality, and the active noise cancellation efficiency, right? The effectiveness of active noise cancellation. So I have my AirPods Pro here. It's put in a case. I'll probably get this off. So starting with the design and build quality, if I have to talk about earphones in 2022, they're all more or less made of plastic. Like there used to be a time when Sennheiser and other expensive brands used to come out with expensive material like fabric that used to feel like fabric and it looked very expensive. It felt expensive, right? But in 2022, we have almost everybody going forward with plastic. I'm going to cut this in between because I sense that I am going to jitter a lot. So there are going to be random cuts. So there used to be a time, right? Like phones used to have glass backs, and glass backs meant premiumness, right? 10,000 rupees, 15,000 rupees phones did not have a metallic back because there used to be a time where Redmi, Asus, etc., started making, like aluminium back phones. And then they moved to glass, and glass was supposed to be more premium. So almost every phone in the market was very fragile. So when it comes to build quality, we're talking about an earphone that's made out of plastic, both the earphone and the case itself. So it's not going to be the most durable. We all know that. My primary problem with the case being it scratches. Super easy. I like the way it looks. It looks like a very healthy tooth, right? It's very cute. It's very pocketable. But the way it scratches, man, like even if you're very, very, very conscious about the way you're using it, the case just scratches in a couple of days. And so I had to put these cases on. Otherwise, I'd never use case. I don't even use a case on my phone. So it's just that I could never go without a case on AirPods because this would completely ruin it. Now it does have wireless charging. So since it has wireless charging, we'll be able to just even with the case you'll be able to put it on wireless charging. So that is definitely a plus. It counts as a feature more than design, but that is definitely a plus once again. Now looking at the earphones themselves, I know it was made fun like a lot when it came out. So it looks like the pea shooter in Plants vs Zombies, and it looked like a hair dryer for some people. It looked like a penguin for some people. Like if you had watched that MKBHD video, he had even gathered the memes at one place. But in my opinion, it just looks fine. So Apple always does this thing, right? Putting a notch on a MacBook, putting a notch on a phone. They just want to make their product look different from the rest of the products in the market. And when I wear these, people just know that I'm wearing AirPods, right? So that's what they were going for. And honestly, I'm not complaining because they have, such a comfortable fit. Like for the moment they sit into my ears, and like I spend 10-15 minutes with them, I almost forget that I'm wearing earphones. So it's like super, super comfortable. And there's this pressure vents. I'm not sure how effective they are. I'm not sure if they are the ones actually working, but I do feel super comfortable. I am not sure if the pressure inside my ear canal and outside is the same, but as long as I feel comfortable, I do not care about the fact that the pressure inside and outside might be different, right? So design and build quality wise, it's an A for the earphones themselves, but I feel like the case could have been better, so I'd probably give this a B. And the fact that it charges over lightning port should be an F, but considering I have an iPhone as well, I'm not complaining about it. So we just spoke about the case, right? So let's talk about the way it charges and how long it takes. So personally speaking, I have to be very honest about it. I do not know exactly how long it takes to charge this from 0 to 100 because usually I just leave it for 1.5 hours. 1 hour, 1.5 hours, and it's almost done, right? Like 1.5 hours, you have the case at 65-70% and you have the earphones at 100%. So I'm super happy. My only pet peeve being when your earphones drop at such majestic rates. Like that would be me talking about the battery life. But when they drop this quickly, I probably want faster charging or a longer lasting battery life. Now that we have entered the battery life segment, the battery life on the case is horrible at best because see, the moment I have my earphones on, I do not use them for more than 4 or 5 hours at a stretch. Most of the times I have them at ANC, even if it's workplace or when I'm outside. I almost never have it at transparency mode, and I almost never have it at normal mode. So my battery life is anywhere around 3.5 to 4.5 hours at best, which I do not mind. I'm not going to use it for more than 4 hours, at least my personal use case scenario, right? But when I put it back in the case, I need to be feeling like I need to feel confident. Ki, okay, like I've put it back, and I come back a hour later, I'm gonna have some charge on this thing. I'll be able to use it again. The thing is, the battery on the case runs out super quickly. It's supposed to give me like 4 charges, yes, but the way it works in real life is you're not gonna drain it to a 0% and then put it back in the case. And now you know that, okay, so I'm charging it back to 100, right? I also understand that Apple has made it really easy that I can just basically look up the amount of charge on my case like in a second on my phone. If I just open it, it just shows up that 60 or 70% of battery is left. But that being said, if the case was even a little bulkier and could handle a couple of more charges, that would have been amazing, because that way I'll have to connect my AirPods to the power supply less frequently. And that's what I want to do. Like right now, I've been connecting it every 2 days once because I use these pretty aggressively. I use it for work time, I use it for leisure time, I use it while I'm traveling. So there's almost, I need to count where I'm not using it actually. So considering that, I would have said either like have better battery life on the AirPods themselves, but I understand that that might be tough. But if the case just had a better charge, even if with the AirPods Pro 2 that might be coming out this year, if they just release a new case that has like a better battery life and can fit the old AirPods, I'd be amazed. I totally buy that case. So battery life is on the case is again, so I feel like I have a lot of problems with the case than the earphones themselves. So battery life of the case, I'd give it a B minus. But the battery life on the earphones themselves, I do not bother, it does not bother me much. So I think I'd go with a B plus, but it's definitely not in the A category. The thing is, I've used earphones like Jabra Elite 65T. I've used earphones like I've used many Skull Candy earphones, which are horrible but have like decent battery life. I've used Soundcore Liberty Pro. I've used Soundcore Life Note, and Soundcore Life Note I think has like 40 hours of battery life on the case themselves, and they have like 7 to 8 hours of battery life in the earphones. So it's amazing. I can probably go for like a week without having to charge them. So having said that, I do not dislike the way AirPods is. It's not horrible in terms of battery life, but I just feel like coming from that experience where I can charge my earphones just like once in a week, I do not want to charge my earphones once in 2 days. So there's that. Earphones should not be like phone. That's what I mean, right? Like you can charge your phone daily. It's too much to expect your phone to, stand by for an entire week. But if I have to charge my phone, my watch, my laptop, my iPad, and even my AirPods for that matter every day, then it just gets like, it's like a work in itself. You'll have to schedule your charges throughout the day. So that's my pet peeve with the battery life of these AirPods. So like I've mentioned, it does have wireless charging. It does have a lightning port to charge. So considering I have an iPad and a MacBook, so mine is an iPad Air, so obviously it charges via Type C. So I wouldn't have actually complained if it had a Type C for charging too. Is a lightning port in 2022, which I think makes sense because the people who are primarily going to pair it with their iPhones, right? But I don't know, I would have liked a Type C on it. I don't want to dig into the complaints because I don't mind the lightning so much, but I just feel like 9 out of 10 times I definitely have a Type C charger with me, or I can just borrow a Type C charger much easily than I can borrow a lightning charger. Because when I say that this review is an Indian perspective, I don't just put it for the sake of use, because very clearly I'm not getting any. So in our country, lightning ports or lightning chargers is not something that we can easily find. Let's be honest. So Type C makes it much better. I know wireless charging is supposed to make it better, but our McDonald's and Starbucks have wireless chargers that are not even connected to power supplies. So you can't do anything with the wireless charging when you're outside, right? All right. So we have spoken about the design and build quality. We have spoken about the charging, the battery life. So now let's probably talk about the sound quality itself, because it's super important. Now, I wouldn't consider myself an audiophile. I like to listen to songs a lot. I listen to a lot of music, but that does not mean I'm an audiophile. Like, I wouldn't know the accurate difference, or even the definition for that matter, between treble and bass and mids and lows. I mean, I understand mids and lows, but like, I'm not that person who likes to separate the instruments and think about each of it and how much of a thumping bass there is. You get the point, right? So let's consider me to be an above average user, but not in that audiophile category. So going by my experience, the audio quality on this is very good. I wouldn't call this excellent. I wouldn't call this average. It's very good. I feel like Jabra Elite 65T has a better audio quality than this one. I'm so sorry if this offends some people, because right now you can grab it for 3,500, 4,000 sometimes. But in terms of audio quality, it does sound better. Like, this gets louder. It gets super loud. Like, 19 out of 20 times I do not want to increase the volume more than that, so it gets pretty loud, and I like to listen to songs in a very loud volume. So I'm not disappointed there, but I wish like the quality of audio could have been a little better. Not that I find this bad, it's just that if I can find Jabra Elite 65 to be better, I know this can be better too. So when I turn ANC on, it's absolutely brilliant. I don't care if there are better earphones out there, because this does the job just fine. And once again, when I say Indian review, we know that the outdoors in our country is not particularly silent or pleasant, right? There's a lot of noise, there's a lot of honking, right? So when I step out, when I travel, it's almost like I never put it on a normal mode just for that sake, because I like to keep it that way. In fact, when people talk, if I just remove one of the earphones or I put it on pause, the human voice actually gets through. It comes in a very muffled way, but it still gets through. So that's like a 10 on 10 for me, because like whatever I want to separate, whatever I want to just cancel out, that gets cancelled out properly. And whatever I want to hear, I can still probably hear, or just hold this down and switch to transparency mode and hear it even better. Or like I've mentioned, just remove one of the earphones. That way you just like the music stops, right? Because they have sensors on this that actually senses that, okay, this is not touching anything. Now, this is not a skin sensor, like it does not basically sense skin. That's done by AirPods 3 actually. So if you do cover earphones, then it will actually think that you have put it back in your ear. You don't have to actually put it back in your ear. So if you even put it in your pocket, let's say, and your earphones is covered, then it'll start playing the music again. Now, this is a very minor inconvenience. It has never bothered me, but I just thought I should probably say. Now, we have spoken about the noise cancellation on these being a 10 on 10, but the transparency mode. Now, I do not know if I'm expecting too much from the transparency mode, because I have seen a lot of tech videos where people claim that, forget active noise cancellation. In terms of transparency, this is just the best, and it's just like the superlative comparison. So every other earphones gets compared to this for transparency mode. I think I'm just expecting a little too much from transparency mode. It still comes out very electronic to me. I think it's just my fault, because it does it just fine. The voice still gets through, but I've heard people say that the transparency mode is just like not wearing earphones at all, and it's definitely not like that. It's not as loud. So if you remove the earphones, definitely the person will be more audible, or whatever sound you're listening to will be more audible, and it will sound less artificial for sure. That said, I don't have a problem with it. Like I've mentioned, if I want somebody's voice to get through, I just switch it to transparency mode, and I'm almost not going to have a problem at all. So the sound quality on these earphones is a solid A for me. The active noise cancellation is a solid A plus for me. And the transparency mode on this is again a A or a B plus for me. So that's about the quality of audio. Now let's talk about the mic quality. So I have taken a lot of calls on these, a lot of calls. So right now I'm working for an organization, and I have to sit through a lot of meetings. And it so happens that Jabra Elite 65T once again has better microphones than these, which I did not expect, because these were supposed to be industry leading when they came out. Very, very high quality tech reviewers had mentioned that the audio quality on these is amazing, and if I have to connect for a call and whatnot, I am almost not confident enough to connect for a call. I'm still sure the quality of audio is not that bad that it does not get through to the other person, but I'm sure some of you can relate, right? Like when somebody calls you, you want to be able to deliver the best kind of audio to them. You want to have a very high quality call from your end, right? It's just us being very presentable. And I feel like when I wear AirPods, I completely cannot do that, because like it gets through for sure, but I've had people say that the background noise is huge. I mean, when I use the Jabra Elite 65T, I've had people say that sounds better than the inbuilt microphones on my iPhone. Now, I do not know the amount of credibility I can associate with it, but they did definitely sound better. I've noticed it myself. So I would give the call quality, like the audio quality of the microphones, a solid B minus. It's not a B plus, it's not a C plus, it's a B minus on these. So it completely gets through. I'm sorry if you've had a great experience, I'm thankful, but like I've not had a brilliant experience using my AirPods. So as long as I can take a call directly using the microphones on my phone, or as long as I just directly use my Mac, I wouldn't have a problem at all, and I'd rather just prefer doing that. But if I'm sitting in like a public environment, I wouldn't shy away from using my AirPods, is what I'm saying. It still gets the job done. So yeah, no problems there, but it's not amazing. So coming to the pricing of these AirPods Pro, I think this is where my problem starts. It is being sold by Apple for 24,900 rupees, and the new one even comes with this MagSafe compatibility. If you want to grab it from Amazon or Flipkart, I think sometimes it keeps lingering around 18,500, 18,000, sometimes around 21,000. So you can find it for around 20,000. Now, for 20,000, these are pretty expensive. I know they have amazing audio quality. I know they have amazing sound quality, good design. It's very premium and it's very easy to connect and whatnot. But for 20,000, it's kind of expensive considering Apple did make a Beats earphones. You just look up Beats earphones in Flipkart because I don't exactly remember the name. So it's there on Flipkart, Amazon, etc., etc. So it's a Beats earphones which has Type C charging, which has better battery life than this, and which also has active noise cancellation. So if that is being sold for let's say 11,000 rupees, so I'm not sure why anybody would want to pay 18,000 for this just because it's made by Apple, because the features are the same. For people who did not know, Beats is now owned by Apple, right? So you're going to get the same amount of features. It might lack a couple of features, it might not be the best in a couple of departments, but the difference is immense, right? Now, if you can find these in the online market for less than 18,000 rupees, or if you really want active noise cancellation, or you my kind of people who has to have silicon tips on the earphones, because I cannot use the standard AirPods at all. They just don't stay in my ear, and even if they do, they pain like crazy. So I would want silicon tips. So I had no choice. So if you want to grab it from the secondary market like OLX, etc., etc., I'd suggest probably look at the battery life. Number one, it's something that a person has put in their ear, so I think it's pretty personal. Earphones are very personal. I'd even shy away from lending earphones to people who I do not know. So if you're buying it from the secondary market, I guess look forward to value for money and make sure that you're getting a good pair, because you do not want to get a disgusting pair of earphones. So also the battery life, like I've mentioned, the battery life on these are already average at best, right? Like the case is average at best. So if you're gonna go look for this at the secondary market, you might want to make sure that they've not overused their earphones, because then it will only give you like 2 or 3 charges, at which point the experience is going to be damaged. The experience is going to be ruined because of the lack of good battery that this has, right? But if you're one of those people, in spite of AirPods 2 and AirPods 3 coming out, if you're one of those people who wants active noise cancellation, wireless charging, MagSafe charging, you want transparency mode, you want silicon tips, then this is a no-brainer, right? You should go forward and get this. But that said, there is a new AirPods 2 coming out sometime this year. It's supposed to have better battery life, and it's supposed to look a little different, if I'm not wrong. Probably a little shorter stem, if I'm not wrong. So if you're one of those people who's not urgently looking for earphones, I'd actually recommend you wait it out till the new ones come out. But if you're in the market looking for AirPods today, and active noise cancellation matters to you, and you're okay spending 18 to 20,000 rupees on these, I would say this is worth it. But now, depending on my weird rating, or it's not even a rating, it's like a B minus, A plus, and A. So based on that, probably look for the areas that you're going to use your earphones for, if it's like sound quality or audio quality. So if you're the person who wants good sound quality, can do with average audio quality, needs active noise cancellation, very good active noise cancellation, and wants to stay in the Apple ecosystem, this is like the best. This is like the perfect earphones for you. But if you're one of those people who's going to be like calling a lot, you're going to stay in a lot of calls, then I'd say probably look for other options. Like if you're one of those people who does not want silicon tip, then I'd say probably consider AirPods 2 or AirPods 3 that also has spatial audio. So that's the review, guys. It's a very weird way of reviewing products, I see that, but I wanted to be very honest about my impressions about these. So because of battery life, I have stumbled, because of battery life, I have been feeling a little irritated lately. But that's not going to take away from the fact that these mean a lot to me. Like if they have the right amount of charge in them and I walk out with these, it has the potential to make that social gathering or that trip or that stroll like 2 or 3 times better. So it's definitely a very powerful device. This is one of my best, one of my favorite purchases in the whole Apple ecosystem. Like I have a phone which just does its job. I have an iPad that just does its job, and I have these which does more than its job. So that's my love-hate relationship with the AirPods Pro. If you own these already, because I know some people are very weird, like they already have the product and they still look for like every review on the internet to check if their perception and the perception of the person reviewing is the same. If you're one of those people looking forward to buying it, let me know if you have any specific questions about this that I might not have covered, because I know that I did not talk about spatial audio a lot because it's an experience that I cannot explain in words. But if you have any specific questions about what Bluetooth version this is, or what is the connectivity like, or how far do you think you can walk away wearing these earphones, and how far can you walk away from your phone or the device. So these are some questions that is not a part of the review, it's not a part of the experience as such. So if you have any such questions, do let me know. And if you found this review helpful, even like got you one step closer to your purchase decision, or if you found that your perspective and my perspective matches, then probably give this video a like and subscribe to the channel if you will, because it's free. So I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye bye.